What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a hot minute. It's definitely been a hot minute since we had a stream up in here. How you're doing? I hope you're doing well. I think we're ages before a lock, actually. So basically, I'll sum it up. I thought the lock was going to be way earlier, and as a result, that's why the streams have been a little more sporadic, shall we say. But yes, the lock was a lot later, and I was like, I've got it in me. I'm not that tired yet. I can push through and bang out a Sorare stream. And it's been a hot minute, like I said. Layden's good to see you. Alhor, back when needed most. I'm not sure about that one, but we'll certainly go through. We'll build some lineups. We'll see what's going on right now. Let's go. Missed you too. Yeah, I'm. You know what? It's good to just be back. Obviously, the playoffs are a little bit different in the Sorare streets, aren't they? It's a little bit less. It feels like the playoffs are the most hype thing, and then when it occurs, because there's such a gap in between, it's kind of hard to keep the hype train rolling in the Sorare streets for playoffs. But, we're here. We'll sit down. We'll do some lineups. We'll see how I'm doing in the championship chase and all of that stuff. I want to know how you're doing as well, how you're finding the playoffs. Do you like the changes that they've done? Are the rewards better? You don't get a backpack this year or a notepad or a pen, but there's some new prizes. There's some more money involved, different levels of tiered cards, special edition cards that we're yet to see pending, but we'll get them and so on and so forth. But, I've got like half an hour, so we're good. We're good to roll through it. And you know what, as well, we'll go through top tier projections like I always do with them because they've been tremendous throughout the season and they've been good in the postseason so far as well. And whilst we're going to be going through top tier projections, I'm still going to show you this right now. My lineups going forward now for Season 2 on Sorare are going to be powered by top-tier projections. If you want to see what they're all about and try and gain that little edge over the competition within the Sorare streets, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description for you to go and check them out. Let the guys over at Top Tier Projections know that I'm the one that sent you. They'll give you a special offer, and it will also help support me making these videos going forward. Wow, just like that. I think I'm wearing the same hoodie there as well. So, that's just shows the continuity that you get here on the channel. And if you're not subs, which you probably are if you're watching it right now, drop the stream a like. It will help the algo out, because we're dedicated to that algo here on the YouTubes. And it's lying dormant because the channel hasn't been posted on for a little while, bar a couple of podcasts, which I hope you've listened to. But we'll run into our stuff. Let's see where we are right now. I've done my pickup already, because this just looked too good not to pick, by the way. Luca, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Al Horford, Kyle Anthony Towns. I'm not quite sure you can get a better five-man team in there. For common, I'm top 1K, which I'll take. I don't know how many people are in the common ones. It won't show me. I need 1,298. I'm on 1,216. There is scope I sneak into this because I have got quite a good common depth of roster from playing it throughout the whole year. But we'll wait and see. Some fundamental errors in the playing and first round cost me in that one. But we're gonna have to go for this. Do you not have I think so. Whilst I agree, because I'm going to say this when I get to rare, because I don't have a Luca rare, and I'm not buying a Luca rare. I should just go and buy a Luca rare, but that's not the point. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think if you've got one of the other guys below him, I think Tatum's obviously the second best one to have. But even if you've got like an Ant-Man or a Jaylen Brown, I think it's not the end of the world. And if Luca's Luca's hobbling around on one knee. Say he goes down game one. You're the one that's laughing there. Obviously, it'd be bad to see for the NBA, and Luca. But it's not the end of the world, is what I'll say right there. So that's where I'm standing in common pickup. The limited champ side of things, I'm 722nd. Again, not as stellar. Where do we need to finish for a reward here? We should comfortably get inside the tier 5s here. It's if I can get a tier 4 or tier 3. And I've got some hope. I have some hope, I will say that. I think I've got a very good limited champion lineup this week, but we'll get to that when we go through it. Limited contender stuff, I'm 160th in limited contender. So the chase for me, and pardon the pun on the championship chase, the chase for me here is to push through and try and get in that top 75 to get a tier 1. That's where my aim is at. That's exactly where I am. I am 2 points outside of it. So that's where I'm aiming in the contender stuff. Rare champion, 185th. But like we've mentioned, I don't have a Luca. So the Luca's going to kill me. And rare contender, 294. So, and I think The thing again with rare, like 120, you need to be for a tier 5. Realistically, if you want a tier 4 card, which is sort of the minimum you'd want, you need to be at 943. I'm 822. Am I going to catch up 120? I'm not sure. Rare champion, I'm on 1,230, and same sort of thing. I'm like 70 points behind. It's doable because I think some people in here probably will fall off a little bit. Obviously, these guys here are going to have the best teams and the best lineups that you can get possible. So I think, and then I didn't even do Super Rare because I didn't have a level, I didn't have a new season card. The way I've been building Super Rare next year is where I'm going to try and play it in terms of definitely in the contender space for next season, but maybe in the champion come the playoffs. Obviously, I'll be playing both champion and contender in the regular. I'll get to that offer in a moment. That's probably for Rudy Gobert that I'm trying to sell. But we're here to build lineups and talk lineups because I'm probably going to have to go out and buy people as well. Let me catch up with the chat. I'm at 450 in common, but the catch-up game seems impossible. I wouldn't say that. I think this is going to be, obviously you're going to have to use your daily card swaps every day. Maybe think about, when it comes to the conference, these two here, we've got 3 more locks for the rest of the NBA playoffs season, shall we say. I think you play it safe-ish for the next 2. Come the finals, if you're trying to get that jump, that's when you move. That's when you play the Peyton Pritchard over the Derek White, and you hope that there's a blowout in a finals game and go on from there. But I don't think it's the end of the world for it. Joshua Line back here, just trying to cotton in on some of the people that are watching this. You know, if anyone wants an Al Horford Super Rare, hit him up. I'm top 100 in common, champion, and contender. I mean, that's not a weird flex. I'd be flexing that if I was the same. That would have been, I wouldn't have said anything. That just would have been on the splash page of the stream. That's all it would have been. That's all it would have been there. Bit Matt, how are you doing, Big? There we go. An OG around these streets. Hi there, great to see you. What is the best possible champ lineup for the projections? You know what? Since you've asked so kindly and you're such an OG, we'll do this. We'll run over onto top tier projections. Like I said, if you want to get signed up, it is late in the season, but it's still probably worth it because if you do cash this week using the lineups, it's probably already paid for it. That's all I'll say. But champion is looking like that. Tatum, Brown, Horford, Gafford, Doncic. It's looking pretty tasty. And someone else, I mean, I'm not sure who it might be, but someone else might have a lineup a little bit similar to that one. I mean, no spoilers is what I'm going to say right there. Currently have Tatum and Derek White, Horford, and McDaniels in common. See, the McDaniels plays the differential. Not many people are going to run Jaden McDaniels because he's not going to project well because it's going to be all defensive stuff. But like we saw, he had the quietest 20-point game ever in Game 7, and he's capable of doing that. A couple of defensive actions. He can have a few steals, a few blocks. You know, he's an underrated asset, is what we'll say for there. Currently 22nd in rare champ. I'm just falling off, aren't I? I'm just washed. I'm living in all of your shadows. 22nd in rare champ. And I thought I was doing okay at 185th. What does 22nd get you? 22nd. Okay, right. So you're going to really push here. You want to push because you want to get, I mean, it's not even for the money. I don't know why there's $50 between the two of them. It's the tier 1 rares, the special edition playoff card that they're going to do. That's what you want. That's what you're going to want. So yes, I hope you get into the tier 1 stuff for it. What's the lowest rank common you can get for a reward and what is it? What's the lowest rank? What do you mean in terms of on this page? You need to be top 100 in the world and it's a tier 5. There's 50 of them handed out. Which again, I think the common stuff, they could have done a little bit more with it. I say this, I've said it like, obviously I've got some form of communications with some of the guys at Sorare. And a lot of the stuff that they do, I've quite enjoyed the changes that they've made, especially towards the back end of the season. When they did the update midway through the NBA year and they updated the prize pools in some of the competitions and in Underdog, I thought it was a big W. Like, it was really good. Some of the stuff with common, I wish they did more because I think it just get more people in the game and it is a natural stepping stone. I have seen people just play common and then move into limited and then move into rare. It just does happen. But I wish they'd done a little bit more with it in the playoffs. I think potentially, though, that's when next year, it should have been this year, but hopefully next year when Rivals comes, which has been a hit and miss thing on the football side, that's a perfect thing to use for the playoffs because it's a daily thing. You could play it daily, especially when the games are on every day. That's when the common stuff, it kind of goes hand in hand and hand in glove, or however you want to say it, and works perfectly. So that's where we'll go. It's a bit of a tangent off of what your actual question was, but we'll move from that. Coop, it is me. The streams have been sporadic, I admit. I've just been extremely busy. as mentioned beforehand, new role, new job, all of this sort of stuff. And it meant that other things had to take a little bit of a backseat. But when I've been able to, I've jumped on for podcasts from the NBA and also the occasional Sorare stuff. Obviously, it's slowed down a little bit, but I will still be there whenever I get time. I'm going to do it. And there's going to be some off-season stuff in terms of what I want to see, what I'm doing and building my gallery. I've also been playing the baseball side of things. So, it's just, we're out here just grinding away. It's what it is. We're grinding away. Want to see the developed Super Rare collection? We can see the developed Super Rare collection. There's not much development to it, is what I will say. We are sitting here. I haven't really made any more additions to it. It's still here. I'm gonna flesh it out, build it up a bit more. I kind of want to get a few more of the Wizards guys for that collection because I think some of these pieces might get traded, especially Tyus Jones. I think he's going to go. I think Denny Adria and Corey Kisbert will stay at the Wizards. Jordan Poole, his L10 is like 50, so I'm not buying him at the moment. But I've got some nice pieces to build around. I think Giddy's going to get a trade. I quite like him at 21. Mikal Bridges at 28. I like. I need to get another MVP in for next year. So it'll happen. It'll be on the back burner, but not on the back burner. That's not the word I was looking for. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. CC Bus, another OG. How are you doing? Oh, we got 20 people up in here now. I was thinking it was going to be like, I haven't streamed in so long. There's going to be one person in here, and it will be an AI bot from YouTube. That was what I was deciding for it. I saw Mike stream beforehand. I haven't chatted with Mike in ages. I was like, go Mike. I saw he was on playback. I caught his playback stream the other week, and I was like, how you doing? How's things? Bosh, and that's where it went. Hey George, I can't decide for champion. What's the play? Ant-Man and Horford or Hallie and Drew? Ooh, Ant-Man and Horford is where I'd lean on that one. I would lean Ant-Man and Horford. You reckon when you see Pritchard have a nice 30 in a blowout game? I think he's averaging. Do you know what? I think it happens in one of these games. I don't know if it'll be game one because I think the Pacers will come. Like the Celtics have had a little bit of time off. The Pacers are going to come into it, although they'll be tied from that 7-game series. I think almost it benefits them because they're going to have more of a rhythm. I can see the Celtics come out and they'll be a little bit rusty, and then they come out and blow them out maybe in game 2. But I can definitely see Pritchard being a good play for 100%. For playoff chase, once playoffs are over, yeah, 100%. What's the optimal 5 for contender? Reese coming in. So this is what we're saying for contender. Jaylen Brown, Cat, Gafford, Lively, Nasreed. The reason I don't like this is I don't like playing Gafford and Lively. It just seems a little bit contradictory to me. And Nasreed, I think the Nasreed play was good in theory against Denver because Karl Anthony Towns gets in so much foul trouble against them because he's on Jokic. I don't know if he gets in foul trouble against Dallas. He is a bit stupid in how he plays basketball, granted, but I don't think he gets in as much foul trouble. And I don't think Nasreed gets as much as a benefit. Granted, his cap is 19, so that's very nice anyway. But when will they announce Olympic format? I'm hoping for anything. Give me Olympic stuff with a fever. They've got the licenses of pretty much every main player. There's going to be a few EuroLeague dons kicking about, but they're not going to have that. But just do something. Just anything. Just to tide the off-season to make it a little bit shorter. Maybe G League stuff. I mean, who knows? We've asked for Summer League stuff for a long time, but yeah, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. What do you think is better in champs, Horford or McDaniels? I think Horford's a better player. I think McDaniels is good, but I think Horford is definitely the better play. Yeah, definitely. That was the AI bot. That's what I was expecting, Matthew. I was genuinely expecting that. Derek Jones, better choice. Better choice than who? 3D. Tell me that again. I've probably remembered that. Looking nice for next year. Yeah, I know. We're building. We're building. We hit one reward this year, so I will take that. We hit a rewarding contender due to Denny Advia going nuts. So shout out Mr. You for selling him to me at that time. I didn't predict he would do that bad as well. Mr. Stream's still been tuning into the podcast. Jameson, you are the absolute boy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We understand that the podcast as well are very random, and that's unfortunately how it's had to be. But, when we appreciate the loyals, the hardcores, the OGs, the day ones, we respect it. We respect it. George, any idea what they're going to do with the season 1 and season 2 cards like they will season 1? Hang on. Any idea what they're going to do with the season 1 and 2 cards? Like, will the season 1 start with 0% and then season 2 is 5? No. So it will basically be season 1 and if you've had a season 1 card, I'll show you because this is probably going to be the best way I can actually explain it. Every new season card will start with 5%. It's just how it always happens. So I don't know why it's set. Also, the credit stuff, come on. I bought this with credits and it's saying I haven't. So I'm not sure about that one, but we'll wait and see. So when you hover over a card, it will show you their season bonus here. So these are the 2 new season cards. It says 5%. And then here we've got 0% because of the rarity. Well, there's no season bonus, sorry. So rarity on the limiteds, there isn't a rarity one. Whereas if you scroll over here, rares will have a 10% bonus. They'll always have 10%, but a new season rare will have 10% and a 5%. So all that will happen is next year, nothing will change to your season 1 cards. You will keep the XP that you've accumulated on them. And if you ever trade or sell, they lose half of it. But they will always have that rarity bonus. And then next season, this Aaron Neesmith, for example, if the new season started tomorrow, he would have 10.5% is how it would work. Because all he'd do is he would lose his season bonus. I've realized you can't see this because of the comments. So that's just fabulous from me. You'd lose the season percentage on it, and you'd keep the XP bonus, and then it rolls over and accumulates XP as time goes on and you play them and train them. And then the season 3 cards will have a 5% bonus on top. So I don't know what the super rare ones are. I can't remember what the rarity is. I think it's 20. I think is it 20? Yeah, it's 20. So De'Aaron Fox has got 20% as a rarity, for example. That's all it is. So you never lose the XP off them. They're just a season 1 on the news. There's just a season. So a lot of times I've said season there. I hope you got the gist of that one. Is where we can go for that one. Gafford and Lively or Derek Jones a better choice? No, I think I think Lively's the best, if I'm honest. I think Lively's the best. I think he's looked the most impressive for Dallas, is where we'll say. How do you rank these 20 cap dudes? Horford, McDaniels, Reed, Gafford, Lively, Derek Jones Jr. I would say Lively or Horford. Actually, Horford's probably the best. Horford, Lively, Gafford, Reed, McDaniels, DJJ is where I'd go. I quite like the McDaniels one because I don't think people are going to play him. I think loads of people are going to play the same teams, and it's just an XP competition. Who's got the most in their collection and who's played them the most over time in training. I think it's good to have a little differential in maybe one of your lineups, but that depends on where you are and how you see things. If you want to gamble a little bit more with your ranking, obviously picking a player that isn't projected to do as well but could. I think Jaden McDaniels is that type where he's got defensive actions in him and can, and against the defending champs, drop 220 pieces quite comfortably. So that's where we'll go. Last question, and I'm going to build some lineups as well. Derek Jones Jr. and Brown, or White and Gafford. I think Jaylen Brown is a much better option than Derek. I think, obviously we've seen Derek White have heater games against the Cavs and the Heat. Pardon the pun, heater games there. But I think conference finals, I'm expecting a little bit more of now, this is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I don't think it's going to be like the Drew Holiday, Derek White. I don't think it's going to be that. I might be wrong, but that's how I read it. I think it's going to be more of like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Okay, this is our time. We need to secure us in the NBA finals. They haven't got a better shot at winning it in forever. So this kind of needs to be their moments to put their authority on it a little bit. 2 hours until deadline. I'm not going to be streaming for 2 hours. Sorry to disappoint you. And I'm sure you're actually quite thrilled that you don't have to listen to me for 2 hours. But Champion, we'll build a couple of the lineups that I can do because some other ones I need to go shopping is essentially, or hit some trades up. We do our thing, but we've got a Luka. We've had a Luka for a while. And this is where I've said as well, I have a Luka in this comp and I'm not going to go out and buy him in rare just in case I want to hedge bets a little bit is essentially it. Do I think he's the best option this week? Yes. Do I think it's the end of the world if you don't have him? No, is all I'll say. As asterisks on that, if you have a Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards or a Jaylen Brown. If you don't have one of them, I wouldn't probably enter in. I wouldn't put my best cards in Champion is all I'll say on that one. But we bought a Luka at the start of the year. He's a 20 count right there. And I've got 30.5% on him because obviously he's got 5.5 XP bonus on him. So there's going to be people out there that have a full Dallas collection of 5% on him, and that's fine. They're going to have 15%. But I'm happy with my 13.5. I'm happy with my 13.5, and I'll take that to the bank is where we'll go right now. Jason Tatum's going to sit in there alongside him, and so is Jaylen Brown. And then I've got the decision of if I play Derek Lively and Aaron Neesmith, and Aaron Neesmith has not been performing to where I'd expect him to have performed Sorare scoring wise. I think he's been good for Indiana in the postseason, but he's been very consistent. If you want someone to get, if there was a challenge to score 20 to 25 points, Aaron Neesmith is everyone's MVP. I don't know what's going on with the 2004 RuneScape World of Warcraft sort of squished graphic that we've got going on here, but we'll accept that. I think the move could be Daniel Gafford and Al Horford is where I'm leaning. I did say that I think Derek Lively's the better option, but I might need him. I don't think I'm going to need him. I think if we did that, I mean, was that not the project? Was that not this run? That was literally that. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford. Is that what I've just done? That is what I just done. So yeah, so I have that. So if I click submit and save that there and store that, like that's banked. The issue is Contender is the one where I'm doing best in. Like I'm 722nd in chase and champ chase. Like realistically speaking, I might push 1,212. I should in 30 points across 3. I could probably get up to a tier 3, which I'd take. But in Contender, I'm pushing for a tier 1 and a tier 1 playoff card. I kind of want. I think that would be a cool thing to have in the gallery to look back and be like, yes, I smashed it that week. It's certainly better than a pen that was last season. Okay, so we accept those and how we're doing. So if I did that and then go into Contender, I mean, like you can also do this in the feature if you didn't know with top tier projections. If I go in and do limited champion refresh, just in case it doesn't pull through everyone, run it, save that lineup. Actually, wait, we'll clear because it's probably got old ones in there. Save that lineup, then go to Contender, run that. So it thinks I should play Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Gafford, and Lively in there. If I exclude those players, I drop down 207 to 193. So I lose 14 points, which is quite big. So I don't know what to do in that one. It's Hershey. How you doing? Another OG. How you doing? Yes, I'm very well. I'm just, busy and tired all the time, which is so fun. It's just a fun thing, isn't it? Just being busy and tired. Great. Aaron Neesmith Revenge series, I think. So do you know what? Like, I'd love to see it. I just can't see it happening. Does anyone else in here actually think that Indiana have a chance? Like, I think they might get a game. They might even get 2. But I don't think they're going, like, surely this has got to be Boston. Like, what are we doing, Boston? Like, this is it. I know Porzingis has got a little bit of a tight calf and all this stuff, but, like, come on. This is it, surely. The real one, I want to know, like, out of Timberwolves and Dallas. Why did I say Timberwolves and Dallas? Timberwolves and the Mavs. That's what I want to know. We'll probably do a podcast around like Game 7 if it gets there, or going into the NBA Finals is when we'll sit down and talk about that. But I kind of want to know where everyone else's head's at for that one as well. I think the consensus is the Pacers might get 1, but I think everyone's like Boston. It'd be unbelievably funny just to see the media, because they've all been saying Boston all year, just to see how they react if Boston don't do it, is all I'll say. So I could play that. Or actually, if I was to go into Contender, hit used cards already. So it says to play Brown. I'm leaving 3 on the table, which seems a bit odd. But Brown, Holiday, Horford, Gafford, Lively. Brown, Holiday, Horford, Gafford, Lively. So that's what it wants me to do in Contender. So if I was to run that, we save that lineup. Then we get rid of the champ one. What does it say to do in champ if I'm playing those guys? So it goes from 280 to 265. That's not terrible, though. So that's a 15-point swing in champ. I think it's better to do that. Like, surely it makes more sense for me to prioritize the one that I'm doing better in the long run, because and it's a 15-point gap. Like, it isn't humongous. And Derek White's a good option. So, like, I could go in champ. I could play my optimal lineup in Contender according to the game, and then play my optimum, suboptimum lineup here. What was it? Derek White, Conley, and then 13 was Ben Shepherd. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is an option there, but and then Ben Shepherd. I don't think it's terrible. I really don't. So we'll leave that out there for now. I might go shopping and do some other things, but we'll leave that in there for now. Lower needing 1 new season card, and all I have is 1 old season card. How that? I'm just showing you top tier projections on it. Can you tell I haven't streamed in a while? Can you tell? I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's there. I'm not sure the signs are there. Anyway, rare champ and rare contender. This is where it gets a little bit fugazi, because I don't know what to do. So I've got Anthony Edwards, who I'm happy to play as an MVP. I think at 46, you can't get him in realistically with another MVP. And I think he's performing at a level where in one of those 3 games, I can see him getting a high 60 to 70 score. I think it will happen because I don't think Dallas are going to be able to play great defense on him, right? So I'm fine with that. My issue comes with, like, if I go Miles Turner, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, and then Gafford, I have that lineup and it hits the cap and it doesn't look too bad. But then when I go on to some of the projection stuff, I then feel bad about this lineup because if I run champ here, one, it doesn't tell me to play. Who does it tell me not to play there? Miles. Who's it telling me not to play there? Wait. Is it telling me not to play Cat? Okay, that's interesting. Drew Holiday's in over them all, which I wouldn't do. I would play Cat over Drew Holiday. Also, hang on. If I forced it to put Karl Anthony Towns in there for me, if we can get there eventually. Yeah, doesn't want to do that. Okay, that's great. Towns? No. What's going on here? Did it synchronize? And now it wants an even lower cap. You know, great. Unbelievable scenes right here. Whilst it's coming in, if you do have any questions as well, like if you're stuck on your lineups like me, being an idiot, let me know. I've got a few more questions and go from there. Trust your gut. Do you know what, SSR? You are preaching to the choir, and I love the comment because I've said this all year. I love this tool. I think like what top tier projections is and what Billy's done. Like obviously I've got an open line with Billy. I think it's a great tool. It's the best out there. If you're building Sorare lineups and you're doing actual just fantasy sports in general, I think it's really good. But obviously it's Sorare specific. And I think next year he'll improve it and it'll be even better. But at the end of the day, they are projections. You can use them as a guide, but go with your gut. I'd be more angry at myself if I saw a projection but overrode my gut. Override. So yes, great. I love that. Gobert or Siakam. I think Gobert is going to be a bit of a monster in the paint in that series. And I think Siakam will be a scoring. Siakam will get you 20 points pretty much most nights, I'd say. Maybe around it. But I think Gobert, just because I think he's a walking double-double in that series. If he had 5 blocks one night, it wouldn't surprise me. Would it surprise you? Probably not. So I'd say Gobert is where I'd actually lean. And I think they've got a really good chance. Like, that's the series you can't call. I can see that going 6 and 7 quite comfortably because if Luka was 100%, I'd be a little bit more onto it, but he just isn't. He's like, he'll have a game and then he'll be really bad the next because his knees is banged up. And Ant's just looking ridiculous. So I'm trusting my gut. I'm playing Sam Hauser, maybe the worst gut choice possible. Look, the thing with that, right, is at home, he'll get minutes. He is a 3. If he catches heat and he hits like 3 threes when he's in a game, he's not going to get taken out. He will play for a little longer than he probably should have. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Has your opinion on Gobert changed from Lewis Howard? I would say, as a so rare player, Gobert's opinion, it's improved. I think he's a better asset than he is. I think as an actual basketball player on the court, yeah, I would also agree. It's changed a little bit. He used to annoy me a lot, but I think he's earned a lot of respect over this series. Now, if he goes out there in the finals, flunks it hard, it will quickly backtrack to what the common conversation was around him beforehand. But I think he's earned some credit, is what we'll say. We'll see what he does with that credit in the conference finals and if they got to an NBA finals. But I think he's done well. He's done well. The fadeaway was just the fadeaway was insane. I think even he himself, deep down, was like, "Oh my god, how have I just done that?" He tries that shot 5,000 more times, he might get, I don't know, 5 of them, maybe 10. Like, it was a fadeaway disbelief, 100%. Anyway, so I can run this. I'm probably going to stream for another few more minutes, guys. If you have any questions, we'll get it in there. I probably should have done a giveaway, but again, I'm just a part-time streamer, so I forgot to do that. Yep. So I can do that, and I'll lock that in. And then if we go to contender, I mean, it was saying Drew Holiday is like off the charts. We'll take off the used lineup stuff. I like that they've added in season cards only, which is also quite a nice touch. So we can see a plethora of options here for me to choose on who my in-season card's going to be. You know, who do I pick? Really is the question. I think we'll go with Aaron Neesmith here. Is the only one that has a game. So we've got to build the team around Aaron Neesmith and rare contender. We have a Drew Holiday. We have an Andrew Nemhard who I can play. I could go out and join Alhorn. You know, we can run the Sam Hauser hype train and hope he doubles his L10. And then I'm looking at 31. So if I was to then go back to projections, the way that you can use this, I have a cap space of 31 left over, less than or equal to 31. Apply it. We're looking at PJ Washington. Drew Holiday, obviously, we're playing. Mike Conley, I wouldn't hate as a move. Could go and pick up his season 1 card and try and get a boost on Ant-Man. But none of them move the needle. And I think that's quite a poorly constructed setup. I don't want to go and buy Derek Lively because he's like £1 million on the Sorare market at the moment. So we're going to have a little think about it. I'm going to post my final lineups as well. Okay, really? 2 of you have said Jordan Poole. I haven't streamed for a while and we're starting the Jordan Poole. I love Jordan Poole. I backed him this year. He helped me win big rewards. And I do want to buy a Super Red Jordan Poole. So if you're watching, you have a Super Red Jordan Poole. I'll say that again. If you're watching and you have a Super Rare Jordan Poole, let me know because I am in the market at the right price for Jordan Poole Super Rare Season 2 Wizards. But no, Jordan Poole. I mean, like he's not going to be able to. Like Jordan Poole's 41. How good was he at the end of the season? Again, I'm showing this and I'm showing the wrong screen. Like he's 41. How did we do this? Like how? Because now he can't be used for like the first 10 games whilst we wait for his L10 to come back down, unless there's a special lineup that's like threes and turnovers, which would be perfect. Can we make that happen? Come on. I know that there might be one person from Sorare tuning in here. Can we make that happen at the start of the year? Can we have a threes and turnovers only competition? And Jordan Poole would be the MVP in that league. That's where we go for it. Jordan will get you 60 easy. Yeah, he would, because Jordan Poole's amazing. And that's where we're going to die on that hill. We really are. Yeah, Tyus Jones was out, granted, but Tyus Jones is going to get traded, and it's the Jordan Poole show next year, and he's taking them to the playoffs via the play-in and maybe losing that. But really hard as a no money spent, so rare player not to sell my Lively. The only card I've won so far. I could surely get a decent contender lineup with how much he is right now. So if you've only got Derek Lively, we will take a look at how much Derek Lively is. But if you've only got a Derek Lively, this is probably your best moment ever to sell him. Although £50 actually a little bit lower than I thought he'd be on limited. I have a Derek Lively. I bought one of him just because I thought he was good and I was doing my Luca collection. Yeah, his rare is insane. His rare is at like £80, which is crazy. I don't know who's thinking he's getting £70 for the Christmas edition one, but, you know, we move with that. I would potentially think about it. And it's also because, like, if you wanted to go out and buy someone that's like a mid-range tier 1 option for next season, like how much is a Trae Young? Like, surely a Trae Young, like you can go and buy a Trae Young and you still have money left over. And Trae Young's at a 33, which is just far. Do you know what? I'm going to buy Trae Young. That's so low. He can easily score in the 50s and 60s, especially he's winning on the Spurs next year when Wembanyama. So that's insane that he's that low. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. This was Emosh, and it was fun. And I'm glad I jumped on, and I am super duper tired. But I'm glad I came on and said hello and had a chat. Thank you very much for showing up, all of you, considering that this part-time stream here hasn't streamed in ages, and, you know, fired one up at very last minute, and you've come by and you've hung out for over half an hour. So I very much appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to do, I mean, look, we'll have a podcast out for the NBA Finals, 100%. I'm going to do some more Sorare stuff in the off-season. We'll have Sorare baseball stuff, potentially. We'll test the waters with how that goes. I'm trying to dip my toe into it right now. And we'll have stuff throughout the postseason or in the off-season as well, kind of like gallery updates, what I'm doing in Sorare, what I want to see for next year, because they're going to be doing stuff right now, working on the Sorare product for next year to make sure they hit the ground running. I appreciate all of you hanging out. Very much appreciate it. We'll try and do a podcast live as well, just so then we can talk NBA hoops in general. Maybe throw a little bit of Sorare in there as well. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Peace.